Hello everyone, today is Wednesday, April 24th. It's 3:36 p.m. It's about 25 minutes before the regular session closed. You can see my computer clock here. And on my left is the time and sales. The Emini SP currently trading at 29.35. Kind of a lackluster day for the Autotrader, but we did have a few standouts. First is the DAX on a SuperAnko 14 tick. And the DAX is one of the best markets to trade in for the Autotrader. What can I say? I'm going to change this to open, low, high, close bars to show the trades a little better. So we started off with a small loser. You can see our drawdown here was less than $100. And then came back with these two winners, which don't look very big, but that's only because of the size of this swing here. So it also shows that even a little bit of movement in the DAX can result in substantial gains here. So this chart here, the goal is 2,000, I'm pretty sure, and a loss limit of 1,500, and it's a limit order with a 4-tick pullback. And this has been one of our all-time best charts in the DAX. Okay, next is the Emini SP on a SuperAnko 6-tick, and this has an open position. This was the only trade that it took late in the day here, and we're long too from 29.3175, and we almost hit our first target here. And so the open P&L is 250, 275, and it kind of remains to be seen what's going to happen here. If we close below this volatility stop, we'll probably exit the trade and have a small gain here. Okay, the DAX on a 34-tick line break chart with our open range filter has been pretty solid. Line break charts are really interesting and shouldn't be overlooked. The BWT trend indicator is keeping us in the trade here because this would have been a line break in the other direction with red bars like you see here, but it was contained by the volatility, so we didn't get whipsawed out of this trade. And this did 1950 on 3 trades here. We had 2 winners. We avoided the whipsaw here because of the open range filter. This was a false start and a loser here, but we have a pretty tight stop on this. And then this winner here brought us to our goal, this long trade, as we're trading above the opening range. So we're only on the long side. And of course, this went much further than this. And we did 1950 for the day here on 2 contracts. The goal is 2025. And it's a limit order with a 3-tick pullback and pretty tight money management on this. All in all, excellent performance on this 34-tick line break with our open range filter. Okay, next is the DAX on a 150 Heikin-Ashi tick chart. This has also been very consistent using our open range filter. Once again, only going to the long side. Unfortunately, tight money management took us out early on this trade here. This had a lot to go, but that's okay. We still probably hit our goal, which on this chart is 25.50, so shy of our goal, but still great performance at 1,800, 900 a contract. We had 2 winners and 1 loser. This was our loser here, and then we came back with this winning trade, and it didn't trade again after that. The Heikin-Ashi bars with the Autotrader work really well. Just check out the indicator signals here. These are all tradable moves from the indicator signal. Okay, the Emini SP on a regular 5-Ranko chart hit its goal, I believe, of 800. And indeed, the goal is 800 here, a limit order with a 4-tick pullback. And this had 3 winning trades, a long and a short, and then a very small long here put us over the edge. up to our goal, and this has a higher time frame filter of SuperAnko 8. This chart here is as good as our SuperAnko 4 ticks, which most of them did not hit their goals today, but had kind of minor losses. For example, the Emini SP with the SuperAnko 4 higher time frame, higher sensitivity, only had a loss of 87.50. It had an equity high of about 150 here. And looking at this, I should probably change the money management. As a rule, usually what I do is at the first target, we trail the stop, and had I done that here, this would have been much better, and it actually probably would have been positive for the day. But still, just minor loss on this. This was the SuperAnko 6 tick that I showed just a few minutes ago, and this actually popped up here and hit our goal. I mean, hit its first target, and so we have a closed P&L of 250 and an open P&L of about 200. By the looks of this, I have a feeling the market's going to rally into the close, so perhaps this will come up and maybe even hit its goal with a little bit of luck. Okay, this is the SuperAnko 4 tick, SuperAnko 6 tick that we looked at a few minutes ago, and this actually popped up and hit our first target. Remember, it wasn't open before, and so we have a closed P&L of 250 and an open P&L of about 175. So it's hard to say what's going to happen here. Again, if we close down here, it looks like it's going to close the position any moment now. But we'll still end up positive for the day with maybe 400 if I were to close the position now. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let it ride. It might bounce again here. Okay, this Emini SP SuperAnko 4 tick closed with a 337.50 P&L, and this has a higher time frame filter of SuperAnko 6, and so this is one of the more or most reliable SuperAnko 4 tick charts as well. So this had a decent gain of 337 for the day. Okay, next is the Emini SP on a regular 5 Ranko chart, and this has a higher time frame filter of SuperAnko 6. It has a goal of 800, so we just did 237.50 for the day. The drawdown was minimal, only 150 per contract, and then it came back to finish positive 237.50 for the day on this trade here. Notice the losers were rather small. There was still a few ticks in each one of these trades if you had a small profit target. In other words, this could be traded kind of like a scalping system. From this entry at 29.35, it went as low as 29.31 perhaps. That's still 4 points, which is 16 ticks. So if my targets were a little bit tighter, our targets on this are 20 ticks and 40 ticks. I have fixed targets, but if I had, say, 14 or 15 ticks, we would have hit that here and then also here. And that might have even caused us to hit our goal for the day. So as you can see, these templates could be modified to your own preferences and perhaps even improved from settings that I have. This was another Emini SP SuperAnko 4 tick chart that struggled today. It finished with $25, but that's probably barely enough to cover commissions today. It drew down still. The drawdown was only $250. That's $125 per contract. That's nice because you're not having a big loser, and it basically made it back to break even. This one has the higher time frame filter of 60 minute. Okay, coming back to our SuperAnko 6 tick chart, it's still in the trade here, and we've given back almost all of the profit we had on the second contract. And looking at this, I realized that it's probably best. It's usually my policy or the way I set up my money management to trail the stop if I hit my first target. So here my target is 20 ticks, yet I'm not trailing the stop until 24 ticks, which just doesn't make sense, you know, to have an extra 4 ticks in there. I should trail the stop with the first profit target, because had I done that, we probably would have been stopped out here and had a much better gain for the day. Instead, this is probably going to close any moment and only end up with 250 or so for the day. In any case, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching.